I wanted to make a video where I can talk about at least 5 creepypastas that I like, but I took time to really think, and I've realized that most creepypastas that I like, I only really like for the design. So there's only really 2 creepypastas that I love for the design and for the story. So today we're going to talk about my 2 favorites. But real quick before the video starts, I want to kindly ask for a subscription to the channel since about 95 to 99% of my viewers are not subscribed. So watch the video and then consider subscribing. Enjoy the video. So for this list, there's only 2, so we're going to go from my second favorite to my favorite. First, we're going to talk about a very popular one. It's also pretty basic, but I don't think many people really know the full story of this photo, so I'm going to explain it to you, and that is no other than Red Mist, or Squidward's suicide. So this story takes place in 2005, around the time after the release of the SpongeBob movie Neptune's Crown. Great movie, by the way. And right when the premiere of season 4 was about to take off, there was a huge situation that set the premiere back several months. And no, it isn't that the crew was just tired from all the animation from the movie. That's what everyone thought was the reason. The true reason was when an intern from Nickelodeon Studios was able to watch the first episode of season 4. He was able to watch it with about 2 other interns, or 3. And while playing the episode, they saw the episode was titled Squidward's Suicide. And since they knew that titles for the episode were usually jokes, they didn't think anything weird of the title. One of them even chuckled at it. The episode starts off pretty normal. Squidward's playing his clarinet and per usual hits some bad notes. SpongeBob is outside making loud noise, to which Squidward asks him to quiet down since he is practicing for a concert later. SpongeBob then walks away to about like Sandy's house. Then the bubbles appear on screen that show when there's a scene transitioning. And we cut to the ending of Squidward's show. And as he stops playing his clarinet, the crowd starts booing at him, where we also see SpongeBob in the crowd surprisingly booing at him as well. Squidward is visibly afraid. The episode skips to Squidward sitting at the edge of his bed. The episode goes completely quiet. No music, no dialogue. Squidward starts to cry, and the view slowly starts to zoom in on him, on his face. He's visibly crying harder and harder and even a bit angry. They see a quick glitch appear on screen. One of the interns was bold enough to rewind, pause it at the exact frame, and the photo they saw was something terrifying. It was a photo of an unalive child about 5 to 6 years old. Face was completely destroyed in the worst possible ways, and the same goes for the child's stomach. The interns that were watching this were terrified, but hoped this was some sort of sick joke from the editors. The shot cuts back to Squidward. You can clearly see this time there was blood pouring down from his eyes as if he were crying red tears. But the blood was hyper-realistic, as if you touched the screen, you would get blood on your hands. And yet again, the screen glitches. One of the interns pauses it again, where we see another 5 children meeting the exact same fate as the first. One of the interns ran out of the room, and another vomits. We cut back to Squidward one last time, and this time his eyes are done hyper-realistic and incredibly bloodshot. He stares at the screen, as if he knew that people were watching him. Again, he cried and cried, but this time without covering his eyes. And then we hear a deep voice tell Squidward, "Do it." And then we see Squidward grab a shotgun, place it in his mouth, and pull the trigger. We end up seeing hyper-realistic blood and brain matter splattered all over the room. The last couple of seconds fades out as we see Squidward lying on his bed, not conscious and not alive. And of course, the creator of the show, Mr. Hillenberg, he was very furious, and after an investigation was made, it was found that the episode was edited over by some software. But the crazy thing is, the editing happened literally 20 seconds before viewing the episode, which is pretty terrifying to me. The children in the video were never identified, and nobody knows why this really happened. All we can assume is that there was some entity, specifically an entity called the Red Mist, that made all of this possible. The end. That was a pretty good creepypasta in my opinion. I know everyone has seen this photo before, but the story behind it is so good, which is why it's my second favorite creepypasta of all time. If this is your first time knowing about the actual story behind this photo, please comment below because I would love to know. And I'm sure a lot of you know this, but if you kept up with the creepypasta, you would know that this was actually referenced in the real show in SpongeBob in 2019. Which there is an episode titled Randomland. There's a shot where Squidward's open a door in panic, and for a second we see Squidward's room, and then we get a quick jump scare of an image that is a clear reference to Red Mist, aka Squidward's suicide, which is really insane in my opinion to put this in the show, but I also love it. Because of this, they received backlash, of course. Backlash, not Blackflash. So the studio was forced to change it into a silly photo of Squidward in a diaper. I honestly think they should have stood on business and kept that there. And I'm pretty sure no one really knows about this, but did you know that this was referenced again in 2020 on a Halloween special? Yes, that is right, it was referenced again 1 year later in the episode SpongeBob's Spookiest Scenes Countdown Special, where we get a spooky version of the intro, and at the end of the intro, Squidward's actually in it. And coincidentally, the screen starts to glitch, and for less than a split second, an actual close-up image of Squidward looking absolutely miserable with, as you can guess, red eyes, a clear reference to Red Mist. This was never altered or changed. I assumed it's because no one really made a big deal of it, because I had no idea about this until researching for this video. But yeah, you can actually see it for yourself. It's season 12, episode 30. And yeah, that was a good story. I tried summarizing and taking a couple things out, so yeah, let's move on to the next creepypasta, which is actually my favorite creepypasta of all time. And yes, another one of my childhood shows, which is none other than Ben 10, specifically Ben 10 Classic. Everyone knows, but if you didn't, Ben is a kid who spends his entire summer with his grandpa Max and his cousin Gwen. And in the original story, a meteor strikes down on the campsite that they're at, to which only Ben sees because he is wandering around. Ben checks out the meteor and finds a watch called the Omnitrix that latches onto him and allows him to turn into 10 different aliens, which is used to fight off evil and bad aliens and save lives. Though in this creepypasta, it is much more terrifying and sinister. In this version, Ben still finds the watch, though this time, instead of the original Omnitrix that changes him into aliens for good, this device is called the Carnitrix, which is a total corrupt version of the original Omnitrix. This version of the watch corrupts the user when placed on oneself. And unlike the original Omnitrix, where it was created to bring other species of aliens together and save the world, this Carnitrix was created to destroy the universe with corrupted aliens. When Ben encounters this device, it is latched onto him and instantly turns him into the same alien as the original, Heat Blast. And two important notes are that 1. This device does not change him whenever he wants. The device changes him on its own when they spot some sort of threat. And the other huge note is the big difference when comparing it to the original when transforming. The original Omnitrix, Ben simply feels as if he is having a good stretch, as he explained years later in Omniverse.
What does it feel like to transform?
Sort of like a good stretch.
Though in this universe, when Ben transforms, he feels every single change in his DNA and body. And while transforming into something like Heat Blast, he actually feels his body transforming harshly and actually feels the flames on his body, unlike the original Omnitrix. And the reason the Omnitrix transformed so suddenly on its own was because Gwen was near looking for Ben. And unfortunately, the Carnitrix takes over, grabs the fireball as Heat Blast, and throws it directly at Gwen, obviously killing her. But keep in mind, Ben has zero control over this. Carnitrix transforms him back to human, and Ben is met with the sight of what he just did to his cousin. He is in tears and shocked, and after Grandpa Max actually finds Ben, the Carnitrix senses danger again and instantly transforms him into a corrupted version of Accelerate, which I have to say is my favorite alien corrupted design by far. But this is also looking like the most painful transformation yet. The way those bones just come out of his other bones, the way the tail just creates itself looks so insufferable. After transforming, he uses the sharp blade on his elbow and literally cuts Grandpa Max in half. Like I said, it's a pretty sinister story. Park rangers end up showing up to the scene since they kept hearing loud noises and screams, to which they both get eaten by a corrupted version of Wildmutt. Ben wakes up later to see all the innocent lives he's claimed in the city. He's pretty much now deemed as a state threat. Ben spots a state trooper going after him, and without wanting to, he transforms yet again, this time into a corrupted version of Forearms. To then he literally grabs the trooper by his arms and tears him off completely. Ben goes on to claim the lives of other troopers, and yet the story hasn't really finished. It makes sense and is pretty obvious, knowing how evil the Carnitrix is, that it would turn into Ben's strongest alien ever, which is Alien X. And Alien X is a celestial sapien, which literally has universal powers, can do anything with the simple snap of a thought. And we would like to imagine that Carnitrix turns into Alien X, takes one look at the universe, snaps its abilities, and completely erases everything. Could even go on to other multiverses. Uses its universal abilities, hit a snap, and completely deletes the universe. With this power, he can even go on to other universes and do the same thing, leaving nothing but Ben and the Carnatrix, to which I would imagine the Carnatrix would be very pleased with itself. The end. Yeah, that was pretty much the Ben 10 creepypasta. Actually, my favorite of all time. Even if it seems shorter than a lot of other creepypastas, I still love the sinister twist in all this. It's insane. The story is insane. The character designs are super insane. But yeah, I also really love the Redimus story of Squidward. It's something that would never ever in a million years happen in SpongeBob. I love a ton of other creepypastas for designs and stuff, but not many of them are really that great on stories. The only other two creepypastas that I really love is obviously Jeff the Killer and Laughing Jack. But Jeff the Killer is way too basic. Everyone knows about it. And Laughing Jack is just, it's so gruesome. I wouldn't even want to speak on it. But you know, if this video does good, if I think it does good, then I'll obviously make a part 2 to it where I talk about those two. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. If anyone likes any other creepypastas besides these two, please let me know. Or maybe let me know a creepypasta that I should talk about in case I make a part 2, and I will gladly do that. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like the video, and if I earned that subscription, please hit that for more content like this. Check out the description for my Instagram at jordaniswanted, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye bye. Happy Halloween.